What are the best strategies to get into video editing and video post-production? That is exactly what I'm going to discuss in this video. So, video editing is a very broad, pretty generic term. What exactly does it mean? So let's start by defining what video editing actually is, because I think there's one sort of notion about what video editing is, and then there's actually sort of all the things that go into it that many people don't even think about. So video post-production is, much like any kind of post-production, something has been recorded. In this case, this is video and audio. That material is a digital file. I mean, in the old days, it was all on film, but nowadays it's, probably 95, 99% digital files. And so those have to be managed in a very specific way and put into a piece of software so that then you can see all the files, and then you can choose which video clips you want to use. You throw them into a timeline in the piece of software that you're using, and then you cut the video together. So that's where your editorial judgment comes in. Then there's a lot of other steps. So making sure all the colors are accurate, making sure the colors are balanced across all the shots, making sure that the color space is consistent across all the different cameras if you're using multiple cameras. And then there's all the audio stuff. So, making sure the levels are balanced across all the tracks. If you're adding music, making sure the music is appropriate and that it's, in a good spot in the video and all that stuff. Then there are, animations and stuff that, you might need to make an animation or a motion graphic or any of those types of things. So there are lots and lots of things that go into video editing, which is a really, really general term. So I think the first thing that you need to do is, out of those things, identify what thing you are most interested in. It might be that you are most interested in managing all of the digital files and doing, more computer-related things and making sure that the files are organized and, that there are backups of all the files and all of that stuff. Or you may be interested in more of the artistic, editorial side of it. Say that you were given, 20 minutes of footage and you have to cut it down to 5 minutes. How are you going to do that? Or that you have 100 different shots and you are compiling a film together, to tell this story. How are you going to do that? Or you may be interested in all the audio stuff or the motion graphics. So there are lots of different aspects. So I think the first step is to choose, an area or two that is most interesting to you. And then start focusing on that area and go online and watch YouTube videos about how to do that thing. Then you become more of a specialist in one of these areas. So for example, I am more of a specialist in cutting a video together and managing all the media than, color grading and doing motion graphics. That's not my field of expertise. So, that's the thing that I invest a lot of time into learning how to do. And so, everybody has a focus. Everybody has a focus. So I think that's very, very important to understand. Second of all, to choose a piece of software that you know for a fact will work for your needs and that you will be able to reliably use. So I use DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a perfect program in a lot of ways because it has a free version that's really, really excellent, has a lot of tools. And so DaVinci Resolve is great, Final Cut Pro is great, Sony Vegas is great. So there are lots of different pieces of software. I think that's up to you to do a little bit of research. try, if it's a paid software, download a free trial of it and experiment every day, for 7 days, 14 days, however long the trial period is. Or if it's free, just, experiment with it. Keep, just clicking buttons. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are really scared to do, is just click the buttons. Because if you don't click the buttons, then how are you going to know what happens? And so I think, other than if you kind of look it up, or maybe there's a tool tip or something, but click the buttons. I can't stress that enough. If you are learning a new piece of software, the best way to learn a new piece of software is just to click all the buttons, because then you don't, if you don't know what those buttons actually do. So really, become a hands-on learner and actually use the software. The most that you're going to do is break the program, and guess what you can do? You can delete the program and you can reinstall it. So you really shouldn't worry about anything like that. Then the next step is identify, sort of through a lot of trial and error and a lot of experimentation, and this could take years, develop some sort of framework that you like to work in, or a style that you like to work in. Maybe you like to do corporate videos. Maybe you like to do documentaries. Maybe you like to do films. Maybe you're more of a film director type of person. You care, about the story and how the visuals play out with the story, and what the film means and all that stuff. Maybe you're more of a film director, or maybe you're more of a visual effects person, and you're working with big explosions, or just motion graphics and little titles and animations that go on the screen. So that takes a lot of practice and a lot of knowing yourself, so that you know what you want to do. And I think that's very, very important. So that's another step. It's a very important step. And so that can, just come through you experimenting. You don't have to have a job. Nobody has to hire you. It just has to be something that you're invested in and that you put a lot of time into doing. And this goes for, in my jazz musicianship series, I talked about this. Learning jazz, the best way to do it, and the only way to do it, is to not stop. Because if you stop, then you stop. And then you're done. And then you're not learning anymore. If you don't stop, if you keep going and you progress and you are learning something or doing something or making something, then you are absolutely making progress. So just do not stop. It's the same thing. It's really, really the same thing. So those are my pieces of advice about the best methods to learn how to edit videos. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, how to learn X, Y, and Z, and it's something that I know how to do, I'm not going to teach you, I'm not going to give you advice, what are the best ways to learn chemistry, because I failed chemistry in high school. So I'm not gonna do that. But if it's something that I know how to do and it's something that I can talk on, then yeah, please leave a comment and I will definitely work on that. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video was helpful. If you'd like to see more like this, please subscribe to this channel. New videos are released every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:00 a.m. So look forward to those. So with that, thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video, and do all that. So thanks for watching and have a great day.